is day 73 of our Te Araroa through hike, and that is Levin there. So we are at the Waiopehu Hut. We stayed here last night with along with about 20 of our new closest friends. There wasn't that many, but there was at least 15, 16 of us in here last night in an 18-bed hut, so it was pretty full. So the wind last night was ferocious, and the thunderstorm that was supposed to come in did come in around about 10 o'clock. It's still really windy this morning. It's clearing though, like you've got views, which we didn't have when we arrived yesterday afternoon, but it's cold as one thing. So I am going back inside the hut, because it is absolutely freezing out here. So hopefully when we start to move, we'll warm up a little bit. So we're going to go into Levin today. We're going to walk straight through. I think we've got about 4 or 5 hours to get to the bottom of the Araroa Forest Park, and then a 7k walk into Levin. So what a view, beautiful. It's 12:30. We've stopped for lunch because I couldn't wait for the extra, hour until maybe a couple of hours until we're out of this section of forest, which is the last little bit that we need to get through to get out of the Araroas. So we've still got so much food left over. So we're having wraps and coffee, and we're on this boardwalk, mud rafts, that have just made life so much easier to get through these sections. So these are, I think, have been put in here by the Manawatu Tramping Club, I think. There were some sections up higher, and they certainly made getting through the mud that bit easier, but these are really sort of protecting this really fragile ecosystem through here, and they're a really nice spot to stop and have lunch. We're out. Here it is. We're out. So we've got some walking through some of this stuff for a bit. A couple of Ks, I think. And then we will hit Hodes Road, Gladstone Road, I think, and we're going to get ourselves into Levin. that was such a privilege, but geez, it was bloody hard. So I know we'll get ourselves down a little bit lower and have a bit more to think about it and have some more words later. So I'm so pleased that we did it, but far out, it was bloody hard in places. So we're done. We've finished the Araroas. And we thought that we might have a little chat about it before we get to the pub, because I don't know, just like every day sort of seems to be such a huge day that you sort of tend to forget things. So we thought, well, we'll get this done now and then
walk into town.
Walk into town. So the best things?
I think getting into the huts for Waiopehu was probably that, and Mount Crawford Summit, that was really good. It was windy up there, but it was nice. Couldn't see a bloody thing.
Why did you like Mount Crawford?
No, just because it was a high point. It was a big climb getting up there, and it was nice to get up on top, especially after slipping over in the mud all the time. Yeah.
That's it? The huts and the hill?
It was all good. The views were great. We got some good views yesterday. We got some fantastic views yesterday along the top too.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah.
Before the weather packed in.
So yeah, saw plenty of people working their way through.
Yeah.
Questioned a few people's sanity going in when the storm was coming in, and we were making sure we were getting out before the big storm hit.
Yeah, so we knew about that storm because we'd reached out to John at the Outdoor Pursuit Centre, and he was so good just in regard to taking our call when we arrived back into Wellington from Brisbane, and just sort of explaining what that weather was going to look like for the next week or so. And he knew that we were going northbound as well, and so he made sure that the people that he saw that were going southbound knew about us. So we're really grateful for him, because he helped us make a really informed choice about going forward and how far we needed to push through. And I think for me, there was always that stress that we just had to keep pushing. So some of those days, particularly that first day when we come out of, well, for us it was the second day after Waikanae through to Parawai Lodge, but the Parawai Lodge to Waiopehu Hut. That day we actually thought we might get all the way up to Nichols, but I was stuffed. I was absolutely stuffed, and so I mean, by the time we got into Waiopehu, there was probably no way in hell we were getting up to Nichols, because it was just too late. But that sort of, just sort of sat. There's a bit of uneasiness about that, because it just meant that we just really had to keep pushing so hard, or otherwise just turn round and go back down again.
There was always that possibility.
Yeah,
but we checked the weather on top of Crawford, and we saw that we were still going okay, but we knew we could get across to Drakafilam once we got to the summit of.
Yeah.
So we had a good day on the third actual day from Waikanae.
Yeah, so that climb that we did when we did the 1,200 metres and 2 Ks, that was extreme, but I'm so happy that we were doing that northbound, because I'm shit going down hills, and particularly when it's muddy. So I spend probably more time on my backside than I do on my feet. So I don't know, going uphill just for me just gives me more control over where my feet are going. So so that was easy. So yeah, so that was a huge day. I loved the Goblin Forest, which was between the Nicholas Hut and Dracophilum Hut. So that was so cool to be moving through there, and we were so lucky. So it was really still, and it was actually quite warm, and so the mud after the Goblin Forest was really challenging, but we got through, didn't we?
We got there, and we got where we need to. We knew we could get out to the lower hut, which we needed to, because last night at 10:30 this massive electrical storm came through. Yeah, so we got... the winds really picked up. It got bloody windy last night.
Yeah, so we were so pleased to be at Waiopehu Hut last night, along with lots of our new closest friends, because there was a heap of us in there last night. So
Te hikers are taking over the place.
Yeah. So
it worked out. The whole trail worked out for the best in the end, because we didn't stay at Nichols, and Nichols has just been shoehorning people in there. It's around a 6-bunk hut but there've been 10 to 12 people staying in there a night, which means that everyone has to bloody share mattresses and that to get everyone in. But they're bench things, so they're not too bad. They'll fit everyone in, but it's just no room in the hut for everyone to cook, and it's not.
It's not a big hut at all.
It's not a big hut. It's not that pleasant. It's drier than Druckerfillin. Druckerfillin was just a damp, musty hut. We opened it up to dry it out and got it better, but
I was so glad. Like, I'd seen so many videos of that hut, and I'd said to Paul, like, I don't even want to stop there for lunch because it is so grotty and disgusting and little, and it looked like it was full of mice. But God, I was so bloody pleased when we reached there, and it felt I was actually really happy to be staying in the hut that night because we just had such a hard day through the mud, and putting a tent up was impossible, and there was just no way that we had enough time to get through to Waiopehu Hut, which was the next one. So I know all those things that you say never to, and that you end up doing, and actually really bloody pleased. So,
but probably the biggest challenge in Tararuas is the mud across the top.
There's
lots of mud on the ends, which is not a problem because it's all grippy. You can walk through it. You're just going through like ankle deep mud, sort of the worst. But when you get on the tops, it's like a clay mud, and you cannot stand still for anywhere because you just go ass up everywhere.
So it's just so hard. Well, for me, it was really, really hard on my head. So our bodies are fine, but it was so hard. It was so hard, just like because you're concentrating on every single step. So it's not that many Ks, but it just takes forever when you're just concentrating on every single step. So
probably our longest K would have been an hour.
So I think I don't know, the track's is being destroyed by the amount of people that are going through it, and I totally understand the irony of what I'm saying, because we were two people that have just gone through the track and made it two people in a worse condition than what it would have been had we not gone through. But it's just there's just so many TA walkers going through. It's just, I guess it's in danger of being loved to death. So an amazing job being done by the people who are putting down the boardwalks and the mud rafts, just trying to preserve the ecosystem in there. There's nothing over the top, but it's just too hard to get it in.
Well, they need to chop really, getting people in there as well, because it's a fair way, but it just needs a lot of work to make it more sustainable. The volume that's going through.
So I guess, like, in summary, it was for Paul, this was always going to be a high point of the TA.
One of many,
one of many. It has been an absolute privilege to go through, because I totally understand that so many people want to do it but can't because of the weather, or because of other commitments in regard to meeting ferries further down. So it actually has been such a privilege to be able to do it, but bloody hell, it was hard in spots. So
it's definitely tricky.
It was definitely tricky, but just so pleased that we've had the opportunity to be able to do it and survived it.
Still be together.
Because there were times. But anyway, we're going off to the pub now, and then we're actually out then. So we're going to get on a bus and go home for Christmas. So
Donna to take her over Dome Valley, but apparently she's not into that. She's heading off.
Anyway, so we so this will be the last video for a while now, and then we'll be down the South Island. So we'll
probably around it.
So we will we'll check out here and talk again probably early in the new year when I get the opportunity to get some videos up.
Yep.